If I perhaps am in Rhode Island, buy a 12-pack of beer, spend the day on the beach, and I pay the 5-cent deposit in Rhode Island, and I come back to Connecticut on my way home and return those bottles, that would be a violation of this bill or this new law. Through you, Mr. Speaker, is that the case?
Representative Gresco.
Through you, Mr. Speaker, that is correct.
I think for me to understand this into my mind, I bring Seinfeld into the equation, where Kramer and Newman paid 5 cents deposit and then drove to Michigan with a postal vehicle full of deposits to try and double their money.
This piece of legislation would prohibit that and hopefully discourage any trips in trucks in trying to come to the state of Connecticut.
As I understand it, in reading the strike all in the analysis, there would be a fine for someone who knowingly comes across the border and returns 5-cent deposits to double their money and get 10 cents from Connecticut. Is that the case? Through you, Mr. Speaker?
That is correct. A fine between $50 and $100 for the first offense, and then it subsequently rises thereafter. Through you, Mr. Speaker.
There would be signage provided by, I would assume, DEP in order to inform people that when they come to Connecticut with a postal truck full of returnables, that they cannot do that. Is that the case? Through you, Mr. Speaker?
Representative Gresco.
Through you, Mr. Speaker, that is correct.
As far as enforcement goes, who would be charged with enforcing this law if someone was a serial offender?
The individuals on the front line, your grocery store employees, your redemption center owner and employees.
Would it be police or DEP? Through you, Mr. Speaker.
The individual redemption center or a grocery store would need to contact the Department of Energy and Environmental Protection.
I do believe that the border retailers that are going to have to deal with this, it could certainly be an issue if some of the border stores had an influx, because as you know, when they're taking returnables in, it takes up a portion of their store, and I think in a way it's a good move to discourage that, because they don't want a back room full of bags and bags and bags of returnables that weren't even sold in our state. So I think in a way that would be helping them. I certainly don't see it as being a fiscal note for Connecticut. It actually might be a revenue gain in the sheets, but it's hopefully going to send a signal that you can't do this. Enforcement, as I acknowledge, would be nearly impossible, but I think getting the word out that this is something that we discourage is a good idea.